Let's talk about Australia, though, because Australia, something insane is happening there. I mean, I'm going to show you a bunch of stories right now and some video here. Australia is just, I don't know what's going on. It seems like they have just decided to just give up in the face of rampant authoritarianism. So first off, we're going to show you this video. This is of an Australian grocery store because people are just basically stocking up on stuff and there ain't a lot of stuff to stock up on. So first, let's show you this.
Look at Woolies in Hurstville. Everything is empty, literally empty. Hey, why is everything empty?
There's a strike in the supplier, and that's why we didn't get any more from.
Oh, he's a supply.
Yeah, we're still waiting. I don't know. It's supposed to get
wow.
today, but we didn't get.
That's crazy, man. Everything is gone. Nothing. Their trucks aren't coming in.
Okay, so it sounds like there's several reasons for this, and I'm not going to sit here pretending that I'm an expert in Australian politics, although I do love Australia, and I had such a wonderful time there with Jordan Peterson, 2 greatest weeks of my life. And I love the people there, and it's so sad what's happening. It sounds like some of the reason that this is happening is that truck drivers are actually protesting the lockdowns so that they're not delivering stuff. But it does sound like there's also just, which is what we're having here, there's just like this log jam in getting things places, and there's less stuff to go around and everything else. But when you see that, that should put chills down your spine, because Australia is a first world nation, just like the United States, just like England, right? And it's like, if supermarkets are going to start going bare because people are protesting or because stuff can't get there or because everyone's locked down and they don't want you going out and they want you to order everything on Amazon and everything else, we got a big freaking problem here. So we've got a quote here. Oh, so let's just, okay, so that's one thing. That's one thing. Getting a little ahead of myself here. That's one thing. Well, now, if you think that that's sort of scary and eerie and like, oh, could that start happening here? Well, Australia is now building quarantine camps. We've got an image right there. I mean, this looks, if you look at what images from Nazi concentration camps look like, they actually look similar. The layout is somewhat similar. It's quite disturbing. We've got a quote here. Sorry, where's this quote from? Let's go to the quote from The Age, actually. Construction is underway at Melbourne's Centre for National Resilience. That's what they named this thing. Melbourne Centre, Melbourne. It's Melbourne, not Melbourne. Melbourne Centre for National Resilience. The unwieldy name given to the new quarantine facility in Mickleham, with the camp set up to open by the end of the year. So it's a little unclear to me, and I would gladly take any of your comments on this. These are quarantine camps. So that means if you get COVID, they're going to send you to this camp with other people who have COVID so that you will not have COVID anymore. Would these people not be constantly reinfecting each other? And do you think maybe, and again, I don't want to be a crazy conspiracy theorist, but do you think maybe when governments start moving populations into camps that could maybe lead to bad things, and that could maybe eventually expand the definition of who should be in the camp and why? I mean, should we start having camps for unvaccinated people and maybe just feed them fish heads once a week? Would that be something that we could do? And if you don't think all of that is weird enough, okay, and yes, it is weird. Well, now, we've got some video here. The Australian federal government is planning to de-anonymize the internet to introduce a social credit system for combating online abuse. This is the type of thing that would have got you banned from Twitter or YouTube 2 years ago if you would have said this sort of thing, that there's a Chinese social credit system coming that basically, if you say things that are anti-government or against whatever the mainstream media narrative is, that you'd get, banned from the internet, or that you wouldn't be able to take part in commerce, and that the government will literally keep a score on you to see what level of a good citizen you are. So here's some video.
A radical plan to crack down on social media abuse is being considered by the federal government. For more, Nine's Oliver Haig joins us live in Adelaide. Ollie, how will it work?
Layla, good morning. Essentially, it will work the same as a passport. Australians forced to submit 100 points of identification, like their driver's licence or passport, when using social media accounts like Facebook and Twitter. Now, police would have access to those social media accounts, and it's all part of a crackdown on online abuse. Now, users could be liable for defamation suits or even criminal prosecution, and it's all part of a plan hoping to deter people from engaging in bad behaviour. Now, the recommendations were handed down by a federal parliamentary inquiry. They're reforms that are being considered by the Morrison government, with the chairman saying there is merit to remove the veil of being anonymous. Layla?
So police will have access to Australian social media accounts to stop bad behavior. All right, so let's do just sort of the surface level version of it. Oh, well, that's pretty good because people are mean online, and online people who are anonymous are mean. Yes, that's true. Now let's do the slightly slower or under version of this, right? The little deeper version of it. Who's going to decide what bad behavior is? Is bad behavior saying that you're against lockdowns? Is bad behavior saying you don't like a government official? Is bad behavior saying you want your kids to go to school? Is there an ethical problem in terms of privacy, that the government can just read all your stuff? You know, I think you can argue it both ways, and I should do more shows on it. I think there's a great philosophical, legal, technological series of arguments around anonymity online, right? Like if you're let's say you were a gay person in Gaza, okay, there might be some value in you being anonymous online so you can connect with other people, tell people your story, maybe meet somebody, all of that stuff, and it's legit. You're under an authoritarian government. Australia is supposedly a Western government. People are allowed to be trolls, at least for now. People are allowed to post pictures of frogs. People are allowed to make fun of politicians. But really what they're saying is here is, oh, we're going to combat hate. And again, I don't love hate. Trust me, I get more than my fair share of hate online. I assure you that I do. So I don't love that. And sometimes it can be quite annoying because I would say, even though I really don't look at responses anymore, 90% usually of when I would look at this stuff and get hate, it's usually from anonymous accounts, right? Very few people will tell you that you're an evil Nazi right-wing lunatic when it's actually their picture and there's some skin in the game. So I understand why that there's reasons for anonymity, and I understand why anonymity also creates problems. But if you don't think that this is a slippery slope, sort of like building camps for the bad people, then I'd like to sell you a bridge. We got a little bit more from Australia. I mean, it's just crazy. This is from Yahoo News. Residents in apartment buildings that have been locked down by Australia's New South Wales State Health Department over COVID-19 concerns say that they have had their deliveries searched and have had packages containing alcohol confiscated if the amount exceeds the department's prescribed alcohol limit. So you're locking people in their house and you're saying to them, you can't drink. Okay, now, again, we can all argue about how healthy drinking is. I've been on this tequila kick, and I do like those Malbecs. But so the government is searching people's packages. You think that might be a problem? In apartment blocks locked down by NSW Health, residents are having their alcohol deliveries policed in accordance with the department's policy, which allows residents to receive a ration of 6 beers or pre-mixed drinks, 1 bottle of wine, or 1 375 milliliter bottle of spirits, according to news.com.au. You can have 6 beers and you can have 1 bottle of wine. I mean, does any of this sound right to you? This has nothing to do with alcohol at this point. Do you see there might be a problem here? It continues, any alcohol outside the limit is being confiscated until lockdown rules are lifted, according to the report. Residents may ask a clinician if they want more than the prescribed limits. I have no doubt that doctors are being called left and right. I need my gin. It helps me sleep. Lordy, guys, there's something so crazy in the system right now. And I think we're all running out of time to fight it. All of us. We're all running out of time. And what we need, to link this back to the front story, is we all need it right now. I know you need it. I need it. We all need it. We all need a little bit of hope.